Everything we have belongs to God, and how we manage it matters. In this video, you'll learn the true meaning of biblical stewardship, how to prioritize God's resources in your life, and why managing your time, talents, and treasures wisely leads to greater blessings. We'll uncover practical ways to live out your faith through stewardship, and why it's the key to living a life that honors God. Let's get started. Stewardship is managing something entrusted to us. It's about recognizing that everything we have comes from God. Our time, talents, money, possessions, they are all gifts. We are caretakers, entrusted with managing these resources for God's glory. The Bible emphasizes stewardship. It's not just a suggestion, it's a command. We will be held accountable for how we've used what God has given us. Our stewardship reflects our heart's condition, showing what we truly value. The Bible is our owner's manual for life, providing clear instructions on stewardship. Psalm 24 verse 1 reminds us, "The earth is the Lord's, and everything in it, the world and all who live in it." We are simply managers of what ultimately belongs to God. Understanding this truth changes everything. It shifts our perspective from ownership to stewardship. We begin to see our resources as tools for God's kingdom, not just for personal gain. Time is a precious commodity. We all have the same 24 hours each day. How we use our time reflects our priorities. Ephesians 5 verses 15 and 16 urge us, "Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil." Are we investing our time wisely? Are we using it to grow closer to God, serve others, and fulfill our calling? Or are we wasting it on fleeting pleasures and distractions? God has uniquely gifted each of us with talents and abilities. These are not for our own glory, but to be used for His purposes. 1 Peter 4 verse 10 says, "Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others, as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms." We are called to discover, develop, and use our talents for God's kingdom. Whether it's teaching, singing, writing, or leading, our talents are meant to bless others and advance His kingdom. Section 5. Treasure, more than money. In this section, we delve into the profound concept of stewardship, a principle that transcends mere financial management. When we think of stewardship, finances often come to mind. However, stewardship encompasses much more than just money. It involves the responsible management of all the resources that God has entrusted to us, including our time, talents, and treasures. God cares about how we handle our money, but He also cares about how we use our abilities and how we spend our time. Each of these aspects is a reflection of our commitment to Him and our understanding of His provision. It's a measure of our trust in Him. When we manage our resources wisely, we demonstrate our faith in God's ability to provide for us. This trust is not just about financial security, it's about believing that God will meet all our needs according to His riches and glory. Proverbs chapter 3 verses 9 to 10 states, "Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops." This ancient wisdom teaches us to prioritize God in our financial decisions, ensuring that we give Him the best of what we have. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing. This promise signifies that when we honor God with our resources, He blesses us abundantly. It's a principle of sowing and reaping, where our faithfulness leads to divine provision. "And your vats will brim over with new wine." This imagery of overflowing vats symbolizes the joy and abundance that come from living a life of faithful stewardship. It's a reminder that God's blessings are not just material but also spiritual and emotional. Giving back to God is not just about money, it's about acknowledging His ownership and our dependence on Him. When we give, we recognize that everything we have comes from God and that we are merely stewards of His resources. It's about acknowledging His ownership and our dependence on Him. This act of giving is a form of worship, a way to express our gratitude and trust in God's provision. It shifts our focus from our own needs to the needs of others and the work of God's kingdom. When we are faithful with our finances, we open the door to God's blessings. Faithfulness in small things leads to greater responsibilities and greater blessings. It's a principle that applies not only to money, but to every area of our lives. It releases God's blessings in our lives. These blessings may come in various forms: financial provision, opportunities for service, or spiritual growth. By being good stewards, we align ourselves with God's purposes and experience the fullness of His blessings. Section 6. The Parable of the Talents. Faithful in little, faithful in much. This parable is one of the most profound teachings of Jesus, encapsulating the essence of stewardship and responsibility. Jesus taught about stewardship in the parable of the talents, found in Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 to 30. In this parable, Jesus illustrates the importance of using our gifts and resources wisely, no matter how small they may seem. A master entrusted his servants with different amounts of money. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to the last 1 talent. Each servant received according to their ability. The servants who were faithful with what they were given were commended and rewarded. The one with 5 talents traded and gained 5 more, and the one with 2 talents gained 2 more. Their master praised them, saying, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little, I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master." The servant who buried his talent out of fear was condemned. He hid his talent in the ground, doing nothing with it. When the master returned, he was displeased and said, "You wicked and slothful servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I scattered no seed." This parable teaches us that faithfulness in little things leads to greater responsibilities. It emphasizes that our actions, no matter how small, are significant. When we are diligent and responsible with the little we have, we prove ourselves worthy of greater trust and responsibility. It's not the amount we have that matters, but how we use it. Whether we have much or little, our faithfulness in managing our resources reflects our character and our trustworthiness. Every small act of stewardship is noticed and valued. God notices and rewards faithfulness, even in seemingly small things. The parable reassures us that no act of faithfulness goes unnoticed by God. He sees our efforts and rewards us accordingly, encouraging us to be diligent and faithful in all that we do. Section 7. Small choices, eternal impact. Every day we make choices that reflect our stewardship. These choices, though they may seem insignificant at the moment, are the building blocks of our lives. They define who we are and what we stand for. How we spend our time, money, and energy matters. Each decision, whether it's how we allocate our resources or how we interact with others, contributes to the larger tapestry of our existence. These seemingly small decisions have eternal implications. They are not just fleeting moments, but are threads woven into the fabric of eternity. Every action, every choice leaves a mark. They shape our character, impact those around us, and determine our eternal rewards. The way we choose to live our lives, the values we uphold, and the principles we follow all contribute to our legacy. Colossians chapter 3 verses 23 to 24 reminds us, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters." This passage encourages us to put our best effort into everything we do, knowing that our true reward comes from a higher place. Since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. This inheritance is not just material wealth, but encompasses spiritual blessings and eternal joy. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. By recognizing that our actions are in service to a higher purpose, we find greater meaning and fulfillment in our daily lives. Our small choices, when made with intention and faith, contribute to a greater good and resonate through eternity. In every moment, we have the opportunity to make choices that reflect our values and beliefs. Whether it's a kind word, a generous act, or a moment of reflection, each decision is a step towards building a life of purpose and significance. Let us be mindful of the impact of our choices, understanding that they are not just for today, but for eternity. By living with intention and purpose, we can create a legacy that honors our faith and serves the greater good. As we navigate our daily lives, let us remember the wisdom of the Scriptures and the importance of our small choices. Each decision, no matter how small, is a reflection of our commitment to living a life of faith and integrity. In the end, it is these small choices that shape our destiny and define our eternal impact. Let us strive to make choices that reflect our highest values and deepest beliefs, knowing that they will resonate through time and eternity. Section 8. Living a life of stewardship. Living as a steward requires intentionality. It's about aligning our hearts with God's heart. It's about seeking His guidance in all areas of our lives. It's about asking ourselves, how can I use what God has given me to honor Him and bless others? It's about being faithful with what we have, no matter how small it may seem. It's about living with an eternal perspective, knowing that our choices today have lasting consequences. Section 9. Your stewardship matters. Your stewardship matters to God. It matters to the advancement of His kingdom. It matters to the people around you. When we embrace biblical stewardship, it transforms our lives and the world around us. We become channels of God's blessings. We experience the joy of living with open hands, generously giving and serving. Choose today to be a faithful steward of all that God has entrusted to you. Your faithfulness has the power to make an eternal difference. The financial teachings shared on this channel are based on biblical principles and are intended for educational and spiritual guidance only. They do not constitute professional, financial, legal, or investment advice. Always seek counsel from a licensed financial advisor or qualified professional for your personal financial decisions. We encourage prayer, discernment, and wise stewardship in all matters related to money and faith.